All right, so the Valkyrie are through with this three-game gauntlet of the Liberty and Lynx, the two top teams in the W. It doesn't get any easier. They're heading out here to Phoenix on Thursday to play a new look Mercury team. I'm excited. My daughter and I were going to go to that one, and so I have some firsthand experience in my take on, seeing them live, seeing the team for the first time live. And it's interesting, this is the third straight sellout at Chase Center for this Valkyries team. The atmosphere, the crowd's been really good. I thought the production on television has been really good. I do think it is a little bit of a double-edged sword when it comes to like the actual game-to-game advantage, because it's like you want to have a good home court, but I think in the W, it's a little more of a unique experience for the opponent to show up in a sold out big venue like that. And so I think it has their antennas up and their juice to play the game. And so, they may not be able to sneak up on some teams like you typically would as an expansion team because you're in a packed out Chase Center at home. But ultimately, it's a good thing, right? I don't, it's, seeing that environment, the arena, the facilities, and the vibes of this new team ultimately are going to encourage star players to come to Golden State and play for this Valkyries team. So I think it's a good thing. But I'm just saying early on here, I don't know how many teams we're going to sneak up on when you're playing in a packed house every time. So we'll see how that goes. But this Lynx team, listen, I thought they got robbed in that game 5 in New York last summer, where not only did Stewie travel, then she got a phantom whistle on that final possession that sealed the deal. And those of you new to the W, it's a 5-game series. That was game 7 on the road, and they were that close to being the defending champs. And now they're on their revenge tour. They're the lone undefeated team left in the W. And honestly, as a team, I like them better than the Liberty. The Liberty have more high-end talent with Stewie, Sabrina, Jonquel, right? But like as far as chemistry, team depth, the way they play, Queen Fee, the new MVP of this league, really. I know she was the defensive player of the year in Asia to win it, but to me, she's snatching the crown from Asia because she's just how the beauty of her game is she's giving you 25 within the flow of the offense. It's always a quiet 25. Defends, pass. It's just a pretty game that they play there in Minnesota. And the handoff game with McBride and Williams, like you're not as you can play good defense. This goes for both the Liberty and the Lynx. You can dial in and play good defense. You're still going to have to keep up with them offensively. That's how good offensively both these two teams are. Now, I thought that Temi had a nice little bounce back game. I was kind of on her the last few games about just her IQ, her feel, her team defense. She matched up pretty well with Fee, at 6'4" and held her own. She still scored 24, but that's the thing. Again, with Fee, like it's not ISO post touches. It's all within the flow. It's hard to take it away. But I thought she had a better game overall in that matchup. But let's talk Veronica Burton. Kind of a breakout game offensively, 21 points. Far more aggressive, turning the corner and getting downhill. And, you watch the men's game, the boys' game, I should say, like the high school level, club level. A lot of the time, the guard, we use the term point guard loosely, but like the on-ball guard for the boys, a lot of the time has the ball a lot, and he usually takes a lot of shots. He's usually one of the leading scorers, right? With the girls, not so much. A lot of the time, the point guard, the girl with the ball, is really there to initiate and set up the offense and beat ball up full court press and just get them into the offense. And they may only take 5-6 shots in the game. It's much more of a traditional point guard role. I would imagine Veronica Burton played that role in high school and even at Northwestern, right? She's not a natural, like, let me get my shot type of player, but that doesn't mean that she can't become more of one, because it feels like that's what this Valkyries team needs from her. You're seeing a lot of teams, and this is another trend with the contenders in the W. You've got giant perimeter defenders that are all switchable. And I don't think the Valkyrie are doing a good enough job of kind of attacking some of those matchups where our guards, JVL, Burton, Carla, They got to try to turn the corner hard on the switch and make that big, like actually move her feet. We're accepting the switches too much, and then the offense is stalling out. But I like seeing Burton get downhill, and I thought that one of the keys to it was they started setting higher ball screens in that second half for her, like well above, we're talking 35, 40 feet up at the midline, and it gives her a few more steps to turn that corner and build momentum downhill. She can finish through contact, right? But when the ball screens are at the 3-point line and in, she is not able to get that extra step to turn the corner. She doesn't like the pictures that she's seeing. And so I'd like to see more of the high ball screens from Burton and for her to continue to look for hers. Put a little more pressure defensively, turning the corner. Now, Janelle Salon, 2 of 10, rough night against the reigning defensive player of the year in Queen Fee, right? So that she's got the excuse, but I think more importantly, Collier is someone that Salon should model her game after. They've got a similar build and similar physical attributes, right? And I thought that some of that stuff that the Lynx run for Napheesa, where it's like she sets a pin down for McBride or Williams, and then she just pops to the nail. It's like a short pin down screen from like 18 feet, and then she just pops to the nail for the midi. That's the type of stuff I think that they could run for Salon to get her some more efficient looks. But overall, again, Napheesa is a nice model for her moving forward to be a two-way player because she certainly is physically capable. She's got to stop settling for so many step-back threes, though. And I think that part of it is, I would imagine there's an adjustment going on where in the Euro League and in France, like when she gets to that step back, she probably creates more separation and it's a cleaner look. But in the W with these bigger, more athletic girls, they're smothered. They're well contested, then they're not efficient shots. But she's got a ways to go. I think she's got to develop some sort of Euro step or spin move, getting downhill, and not so she's settling. But again, Fee, a good blueprint for her. And Nakase, maybe just do a better job getting her shots at the nail rather than she does to shoot her a little bail with her percentages. She does wind up with a lot of grenades at the end of the clock. And she's just got to take it, right? But as far as Nakase goes in this one, there was something that was curious to me. It was the end of the half, and we'll get to Kate Martin here. We'll get to Mrs. Steal Your Girl here in a second. But, after a really good second quarter, at the end of the half, Burton gets a steal or she's pushing the ball, and there's like 17 on the clock. And Nakase's at midcourt. She's up at midcourt. And she doesn't bring them back to hold for final shot. She just let Burton head downhill, and we ended up turning it over, and it was free throws for the Lynx to end the half. That I was a little curious about that, like whether that was philosophy of like, hey, no, we got to play fast, or she didn't recognize it. Burton didn't recognize it, but I thought that was a like kind of a glaring mistake there. And then Carla Late only had one quick stint of minutes in the first quarter, and we didn't see her in the second half. And Nakase said post-game, she doesn't want to give little bits of minutes, that it's not fair for the player to get in rhythm, so it's going to be an all or nothing thing as she figures out this rotation. But yeah, as good as Carla's been early in the season, that was kind of curious, especially when the offense dried up there in the third quarter. But we'll see. It's still early. Kate Martin has a breakout game, 14 points in that second quarter. And just a nasty, did you see the English she put on that first lay where she hit like a rocker hezzy step into a left-handed layup and she spun it out like with real English and one. And that was the key. The pace picked up with Van Loo in that second quarter and we got out in transition. We didn't have to go against a set Lynx defense. And Kate Martin got 2-3 layups. Then she hits a weak side 3. Then comes the heat check 4-point play and boom, she had 14 points. And so, listen, you see the skill level, right? When you really watch, like she's got a bag. She's a tough shot maker. Like she could even be a shot creator, I believe. What I'm questioning is her confidence level and how strong that is. Because at this level, listen, at the pro level, the separation between like a role playing scorer and like in a star scorer a lot of the time is like it's a mindset of like if Kate makes a mistake and misses 2 shots, does that back her aggression and confidence off? Whereas like you see in Young Salon, like nothing's gonna phase her. And that's why she kind of has that star quality. You can see it early where like, oh, she'll miss 5 in a row. She's gonna take 5 more shots. And you can't even tell what she's shooting. She's just always confident, right? And you can't really teach that. And I'm not sure Kate has that. So she may be destined to be kind of like a utility toolsy player, role player. But you saw that offensive outburst. The skill is certainly there. She's got to remain aggressive and confident through mistakes. But it was good to see her have that outburst. And the other thing that I would say is, coaching wise, again, I'm not in love with the offense. And I get the 5-out stuff and we're shooting all these threes to try to, close the gap. But when you look like at the difference between the Lynx and Valkyries and the 3-point shooting, there's a difference between a player who can shoot threes and a shooter, right? In the Lynx, they got shooters. Courtney Williams, McBride, they're shooters. And there's a difference between a shooter and someone who can make shots. And so for us to be shooting this many threes with a lot of players who can make shots, like I think we've got 3 shooters, right? In Van Loo, Carla, and the new girl from Italy. Forgive me, I haven't learned how to pronounce her name yet. But those are, like, to my eye test early, I'm like, okay, those are shooters, right? The other girls can make shots. And so I think that we've got to diversify the offense a little bit. I think Mo Billings deserves some post touches on that left block. She looks automatic turning right shoulder. Diversify the offense a little bit. Tiffany Hayes returned, and you could tell her timing was off a little bit. She hasn't played in 10 days. She got in some suspect foul trouble, so she wasn't able to really contribute in the way that I think they envision her. When we do go on these scoring droughts, it's like, all right, clear out, let Tiffany get a bucket, get to the line, do something like that, right? So she's got to find her bearings, but then she gets cracked in the nose again there. Those are the things where you're like, ooh, even on your couch you feel it. Like if you've ever had a broken nose, or we've all been hitting the nose. You know how it's one of those buttons on your body that hurts so bad, and for a freshly broken nose to get cracked again. So hopefully she will be good Thursday for this Mercury matchup, because she's a key cog in making this offense look more diversified and making sure there aren't so many long scoring droughts. But again, I didn't expect them to win any of these 3 against the 2 top teams. I thought they showed well enough. They were competitive enough, and there's enough things to be excited about and intrigued moving forward. I will be at the Valkyries Mercury game, so I'm excited for that one. Tomorrow, we'll talk Warriors. I get it. Some of y'all, you ain't into this yet. You will be. But tomorrow I'll have a Warriors offseason video. There's a lot of names floating around there. There's a lot of names floating around and a lot of interesting potential moves for this Dubs roster. As always, hit that like, share, and subscribe. I'm out, y'all.